I normally have a little handle thing that goes over the top of the spray paint bottle. We could not find it. I don't know if it made it through the move, but so you shake during the whole process. You're not supposed to spray paint when it's windy. We happen to live on top of, basically on top of a mountain, so it's always windy. Just have to kind of do our best. Oh, I'm gonna go kind of swooping thing. Again, that little handle that you put over the top of the spray paint, it has a little thing here, and it's a lighter touch. It's actually really good for your hands because if you're spray painting a lot, it's really hard on your hands. Now, when I spray paint stuff, I learned this the hard way. You just get all over it. You get down, you get lower, you kind of look from every angle to make sure you're getting all the coverage. Especially something like this, there's a lot of curves, a lot of different shapes. So you make sure you get in there. And I'm spray painting the top underneath, just because I think it'll help it get less rust over time. So I think probably these lights were not installed like that, but it's probably better for it to be light fixture over time, especially since it's an outside light fixture. You can see the brown in there. I'm gonna make sure I cover that up with the end of the paper. This one's interesting. You can see how bright it was and the color that it was before. So we also use the, it says forged hammered spray paint because it's forgiving. Since these were obviously really rusted, we wanted to use this spray paint because it's forgiving for surface, you know, flaws and things like that. I did not know that. My husband actually told me that, but it makes a lot of sense because it has a pattern when you spray it. So it does make a lot of sense that it would be a forgiving spray paint. Gloves. And I'm just going to start applying the center strip. And I know you're supposed to put a pretty good amount on there. This is pretty exciting. This is the stuff that it took off the first layer pretty easily, and it's so like, yeah, I just took it off. So I'm pretty excited. It seems to be working a whole lot better than when I used Stone Brick. I'm going to do it here so you guys can see how it's working. Look at that. It's definitely taking some paint off. Probably going to have to do it again. But it is taking some paint off, most definitely. I think I need a slightly more narrow scraper. So it looks like they painted it red and then, oh, okay, so the mauve and then a red, and they also had it white. Ooh, that's satisfying. I didn't expect this to work as well as it is working. That just never happens for me. Usually it's like a pain in the butt and I work my butt off and it doesn't work. So I'm excited when it's actually working. Alright, so I'm going to try this guy right here. See how good it is. Oh my god, that's so satisfying! Whew, that's satisfying. Alright. Pull that on up there. Oh my gosh, I'm a fan of Citrus Strip. It looks so gross. Look at it. On this side. Satisfying. Oh my god. Oh, look how beautiful that is. I believe it's down here. I have it somewhere. Oh, I'm excited. It kind of looks turquoisey, but I don't think it's going to look like that when it dries. It's going to look sort of a richer blue. I wanted to use a small brush because there's so many like nooks and crannies and stuff. It's really quite a nice design. There's a lot of molding and stuff. I don't know if you call it molding, but there's a lot of different things. So I just wanted to have something that could go into all the nooks and crannies and all of that. I think with paint projects, you can typically take your time. So I'm sure I'm going to have to do 2 coats. I rarely have to just do one, despite, you know, all the things that it says about, you know, primer in the paint and stuff like that. In my experience, I know there's people that are going to disagree, but in my experience, SBS, you typically always have to do 2 coats. It doesn't really matter if it says it has primer in the paint, it doesn't matter. I mean, I have yet to find a product that really matters. If you have, please comment below because I would love to know about it. I'd love to do 1 coat and be done, but that's just never been my reality. So, you know, the more expensive paint typically does have better coverage. I've just never had, even when I bought nicer paint, it's just never been the case. So, I would say, with my limited expertise, that you're kind of wasting your money to spend more money on paint with primer. But that's just my opinion. You may have a different one, but that's kind of how I feel from experience. Oh my gosh, it's so blue. I am kind of loving it. I feel like you know, the one easy pop-up color with paint, well, not necessarily, but you can pretty much get away with the pop-up color on your door, and it just looks nice and fresh. And it's, most of the time, it's a pretty easy project, right, to just paint your door. That was not the case with this door, but most of the time you could probably do, you know, paint your door on a weekend. Just hope it doesn't have 3 layers of paint on it, because it'll take a lot longer. Well, normally I would tape stuff off. You know, for any project, you should typically tape off and prep and all of that stuff. For this one, again, I'm really wanting to get it over with. But also, we do have a glass scraper thing or whatever, so I was going to use that if we got it on the glass. But I think I can probably do a pretty good job of not hitting the glass. I mean, I'm sure I'll get some of the glass, but we already have that tool, so I'm going to use that if that happens. That's the only reason I'm not taping it off. So I really feel like it's going to be nice to come home to a nice, freshly painted door with a little pop of color and the Blue Ridge Mountains. Blue Ridge Mountains. There you go. I have been so wanting to paint my walls because they literally did not paint a wall in this house. Not a wall. Nothing. I think it's just like primer white or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's like a beige, whatever. There's no color. No color at all. So I'm kind of dying to paint anything in the house, inside the house too. But this makes me happy because I've been wanting to paint something since we moved here. Because I need color in my life. I like the color. I could have just sanded this some and not tried to strip it, and my husband, that will tell you he is the wisest man on the planet. If you ask him, he'll definitely tell you that. He kind of said maybe you should just sand it. But like, he didn't say it in a way that was like, hey, pay attention to what I am saying. This is important. It will be a pain in the butt. I don't know. But anyway, he was right. It was a pain in the butt. And I probably should have sanded it from the get and not tried to strip it, because lo and behold, 3 layers of paint is a pain. So I just was like, oh no, I'm going to strip it. It'll be great. It wasn't great. It wasn't great, guys. It wasn't great. I think next time what I'll do is, which I don't know when this will come up again, but is probably try to strip, you know, some paint in a small area and, you know, see what comes off and see what's on there. That makes a little more sense than just, hey, let's do this. So do that next time, guys, when you have a project and you don't know how much previous paint is on it. Yeah. Just pick a small spot and do that, and then see. And then assess. So that's what I should have done. We go over a mountain to get to a town near us, and I was lucky enough to see a mama bear and 2 cubs crossing the road, and I had enough time to kind of see them and slow down, and luckily there's nobody behind me, and so I was just sitting there, and it was so cool because I saw the mama bear first, and it was clearly like a fully grown bear. And I said, and the girls were in the car with me, and I said, that's a bear. That's pretty much what I said. I said, that's a bear. And then shortly after, like a few seconds later, there were 2 cubs that came and were following her. I'm assuming it was a her because, you know, mama bear, the whole thing. So anyway, so the cubs were following her, and the bear literally, it was so interesting because she kind of like looked at me, looked at the cubs, looked back at me and was like, okay, they're not gonna drive. And like the cubs followed her across the road, and she went into the forest or whatever, the woods. But it was so interesting, and it was cool because we were close enough to kind of see them. We weren't too close, but we were close enough, and it was just such a cool experience to see a mama bear and 2 cubs. And it was kind of, to me, like a welcome to Virginia gift or something. It really was. And I think that night I was like Googling, is it good luck to cross paths with a bear? If it is, please tell me. Because it was just cool. It was really cool. You know, I mean, I'm not used to seeing bears. Georgia had black bears. These are black bears as well. But I'm just not used to that. I mean, it was just really a cool experience to have that interaction. So anyway, that happened. Actually a doormat that we got that was kind of left when we moved into the house, but it's really cute and simple, and I like it. So I'm just going to add a pop of color and kind of highlight the home that's written on there in a different color. And I thought it would look just really simple, clean, and nice for my front door. So this is a custom paint color. We had some of this for free. I think it was from my husband's previous job. Since it was for vehicles, we thought it would be a good, a durable paint to use on a doormat. So here's my final product with the mat. I think it looks really nice. I sanded these stools down, and I'm not an expert on sanding, but I just used the 100 grit sandpaper with its piece of wood, and I do know that you kind of do it in a, round motion, and you don't want to sand too much in one spot so that you don't have like flat spots, especially since these are rounded legs. So that's pretty much what I did. The second one, it already looks really nice, and I know typically you wipe off the stain, but this seems to be just kind of soaking it up, so I'm just gonna not worry about it and not worry about wiping it off. Still doing the first coat. So I thought Golden Oak was the most, I guess, relatable color to like our flooring and stuff like that. And then I was watching Alexandra Reader. I started getting her stuff. She's Canadian, and of course she has a YouTube channel. I think she's really good. I'm guessing. I've only started watching her. But she was talking about how a variety of wood tones can make a space look really warm or whatever. And I was like, yes, we have a variety of wood tones up in our house, which was just kind of like happenstance and how we got stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and start the second coat because I feel like this is it's just eating up the stain. It looks really nice. I'm liking it. It kind of just lets it change the color a little bit. Alright, I'm going to go for it. I don't know. I mean, like, if I had bought these tools, I might feel a little differently, but I did not, and I think it's going to look better, so I'm just going to do it. So I'm going to use a brush instead of a rag. Not going to use a ton. Just want to give it a little color. I don't think I'm going to even go over it twice.